And welcome to Greg Kelly Reports. I'm Joe Pinion in for Greg this evening. Well, contrary to popular opinion, Jeffrey Epstein matters, folks. Rooting out powerful individuals who have perverted the levers of power in our nation at the highest levels to live out their own sick, perverse fantasies, it matters. My conscience tells me so. My Bible tells me so. The fact that Ghislaine Maxwell is currently remanded as a guest of the United States federal government for the next 20 years tells me so. And why? Because a country founded on liberty, justice, and the pursuit of a more perfect union cannot continue to turn a blind eye to the eradication and exploitation of the one thing no man can give away and no amount of money can ever restore: innocence. Pure, unadulterated childhood innocence. Now, for decades, Democrats insisted that concerns of Epstein were overwrought, that the flight logs were unimportant. Well, suddenly, they're singing a slightly different tune.
We couldn't find that you made any public comments about Epstein in previous administrations.
Well, I would have been happy to raise it then as well. Frankly, we were focused on so many different pieces, but I have been one of the Democrats that has been consistent on what I call out Republican presidents for.
Let me help her out there, folks. The ladies of The View and the pawns of the political left, they have not developed a newfound concern for the abuse of vulnerable children. They want to use concern for children as a proxy to engage in their favorite political pastime: the attempted destruction of one Donald J. Trump, no matter the cost. And the costs, by the way, are quite real. Because while the crimes of Jeffrey Epstein are undeniably egregious, the scope of the threat of sexual violence facing children all across this country is much larger than most Americans can even begin to fathom. Now, in the spring of 2023, HHS whistleblower Tara Lee wrote us, she came forward with some pretty alarming accusations that our government had misplaced close to 300,000 children. Poof, gone missing, vanished into the great unknown. A direct result of the surge in illegal immigration at our border as a result of open border policies and the resulting inability of our government to properly process that many unaccompanied minors at once, or properly vet the organizations and the individuals that came forward to claim them. Now, Tara wrote us, she is not a politician. She is not an aspiring MAGA social media influencer. She was just one of many humble public servants who volunteered to help children in the midst of a crisis while our government tried to process them, only to discover for herself that the assistance our government was rendering had actually become a driving cause for the pain enveloping those children's lives. And what was the response from the political left? What was the response from the Biden administration when this was all revealed? First silence, and then cold and calculated denials. Their position? They did not believe in what it was appropriate to categorize the children as officially missing until they had missed at least one court appearance. Never mind the reality, of course, that the government data from HHS not only confirmed that 32,000 children had already missed court appearances, but that 31,475 notices for children to appear had been sent to addresses that turned out to be completely fake or fraudulent. Translation: our government entrusted over 30,000 children into the care of adults and organizations that made material misrepresentations about themselves and the destination of those children. And our government never figured it out until those innocent children were gone with the wind. And those, by the way, are just the instances when they had enough documentation to check on the children. Because reporting from the New York Times later revealed the agency couldn't even reach as much as 85,000 children over a 2-year period. So none of this, by the way, is a Joe Pinion opinion, nor is it Tara Lee Rodas asking you to take her word for it. Additional whistleblowers, such as Deborah White, Aaron Stevenson, all came forward to corroborate these atrocities. Congressional hearings have confirmed that these allegations are not allegations. They are a material matter of fact. Just listen to the words of one American patriot, Congressman Clay Higgins.
70% of the documentation turned in by so-called sponsors, which were lined up by who? The NGOs. Through who? Primarily HHS. It was a pipeline, man. We fed a pipeline of tender-age children into sex trafficking and slave labor into our country.
See, a pipeline of oil, the political left will lose its mind. A pipeline of children, it is silence of the lambs on the political left in this nation. And so here's the point in all of this, folks. Do not fall for the donkey okey doke. Do not believe this newfound, newly discovered outrage being force-fed to you by the left-stream media about the monsters who prey on God's children. When women and children were being dragged into rape tents in the Darien Gap after placing their life in the hands of cartel coyotes en route to the U.S. southern border because the Democratic leaders in our nation told them to come. I don't remember the ladies of The View hyperventilating. I don't remember Jamie Raskin or Adam Schiff even batting an eye. And when Senator Chuck Grassley found the Biden administration ignored or dismissed over 65,000 reports of missing migrant children, I don't recall AOC weeping at the gate. And I don't remember Hakeem Jeffries doing much of anything at all to change the policies that created this American nightmare. So yes, folks, this Republican Party, founded on the end of the shameful legacy of slavery in the shadow of Abraham Lincoln, should unequivocally seek to expose the truth the modern-day slavery is, that it's rotting our society. We should absolutely care about the crimes against humanity that occurred on Epstein Island. But we should wholeheartedly reject the notion that the same Democratic Party that demands we read sexually explicit material at public libraries during drag time story hour to children who are not old enough to attend a PG-13 movie by themselves is somehow more serious about eradicating the real threat of sexual violence against our children than we are. Full stop.
You know, everybody's reporting the same stories, the same spin. You turn the channel, it's always the same. But not us. We're different. We report the real news. No spin, just the facts. Turn to us, and you won't turn back.
Tune in to Rob Schmidt tonight on Newsmax.